Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of Dear Nero, a series that dates back to 2012 where I answer questions that are sent in by you, the viewer. I must admit before we get started here today that I am feeling quite under the weather, so my voice sounds different, or if you're wondering why this will likely be a shorter episode than normal, it's because of that. It all just sort of hit me last night, the sore throat, the fever, the swollen lymph nodes on the neck, just suddenly I'm like, I'm dying. This is horrible. What's going on? I do feel a bit better today than I did yesterday, so I figured I would try to get this video out, but yeah, that's the reason why this week's episode will likely be a bit shorter than normal, and why I may or may not sound a little bit different. But the show must go on. Let's start things off here with the very first question, which will be coming in from Patrick, who writes, Dear Nero, hot tub face reveal when? Joking aside, if you somehow manage to get a current-gen console, PS5 or Xbox Series console, how easy was it for you to obtain? If you did buy one or both, did you get them at MSRP or by paying a scalper on sites like eBay, StockX, or etc.? So Patrick, I actually get this question quite a bit because I've always been an Xbox guy who had a PlayStation as well because of the old PlayStation exclusivity contract that Sony had with Activision. Well, with Black Ops Cold War, with the advent of crossplay, it kind of started with Modern Warfare obviously, but with the advent of crossplay, I'm now a PC gamer. I do everything on the PC. I have not turned my consoles on in ages, and therefore I don't really have any desire to get either of the new consoles, even if I could get the new consoles. It's actually insane how hard it is to find the new consoles at MSRP, the same way it's ridiculous how hard it is to get the new NVIDIA graphics cards. For example, when I play COD, oftentimes I'm streaming it over on Twitch, and so I'll be streaming, playing, and recording for my YouTube videos here all at the same time. Therefore, my old GTX 1080, which like a day one 1080, which is what it was rocking forever, it was really struggling. It was really struggling. So eventually I'm like, you know what, I have to upgrade. This is actually back during the Cold War beta, and I ended up finding a 3070 online for $900, which mind you is like almost like double the price of what it's going to go for with MSRP, but it was the only way to get it. And right now I'm pretty sure if you look for a GTX, I guess it's an RTX 3070, you look for that online, you can't find it for cheaper than $900. Like, it's actually insane how long this has gone on, how hard it is for gamers just to get a new PlayStation or a new Xbox or a new graphics card for their PC. It's genuinely mind-blowing. I don't regret spending that much on my graphics card because I use it every single day for both work and play, so it kind of worked out for me. But yeah, it does feel kind of weird not getting a new console, because I've been a console gamer my entire life, and now suddenly everything's on PC. So there you have it. The next question is going to be coming in from _Casey, who writes, Dear Nero, what are your thoughts on GM Byron Bede leaving Call of Duty for Battlefield? Do you think this is a positive or a negative? So a bunch of Call of Duty guys have slowly but surely been moving over to Battlefield recently. I don't think it's as big a deal as people are making it out to be. I'm seeing a bunch of articles of people trying to hype it up, and I think it's mostly because there's nothing happening in the COD scene right now. But developers moving in between companies is not typically a very big deal. And honestly, like, this is something that we all kind of get, like, we all kind of fall for this. I'm trying to think of a better phrase, but again, I'm not feeling well. We all kind of fall for this. One single developer does not, like, make the entire team. One developer, one person, one whatever does not end up, you know, creating the entire vision for a game, and they're not the sole reason why a game turned out the way that it did. Like, for example, some of the most beloved CODs of all time, Robert Bowling was not directly responsible for how good COD 4 was or how good Modern Warfare 2 was. Obviously, he helped being the community manager and so on and so forth, but it wasn't all him. The same way with Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, David Vonderhaar was not necessarily the driving force behind every single decision within the studio. Is he a major player within the studio? Of course. But could the studio live on without him? Yes, and that's not a slight at him. I actually like David Vonderhaar quite a bit, and I like the games that he's worked on, and he's pretty much responsible for leading the Blackout team as well, and I love Blackout as compared to Warzone, so it's not a slight against him. I'm just saying that, like, one person doesn't make an entire studio, and so when you see something like the Call of Duty general manager leaving to go to Battlefield, I'm like, since when does COD even have general managers? And what does a general manager even do? Like, does this guy even play the game? Or is he just the guy that's like, we need more supply drops? more loot boxes. Like, I don't know. I have no idea what a general manager even does. So I guess we'll wait and see how things play out. I'm definitely excited about the new Battlefield game, by the way, though. The reveal's coming up this month. Super stoked about that. The next question is going to be coming in from Ryan, who writes, Dear Nero, I hope you are having a good day. I am, Ryan. Thank you very much for saying that. Do you think we could get a collections and armory credit style system like Call of Duty World War II ever again? Well, Ryan, I certainly hope so, with the next Call of Duty game being Call of Duty Vanguard, allegedly, reportedly, right? If that is the case, it would be cool for a system like that to return, because I like when I'm playing COD, and I feel like I am constantly working towards something. I feel like I'm constantly progressing towards something, whether that is saving up. This is going to make people are going to call this sacrilege. But even in Black Ops 4, right? Remember back towards the end of Black Ops 4's life cycle, they added in those weapon crate systems. Basically, you could trade in 50 supply drops for a DLC weapon. Do you guys remember when they did that? Even having something like that in the game was so fun for me, because I was always working towards something. I have every single DLC weapon within Black Ops 4 because of that system, because every day I would sign in. I would do my contracts in multiplayer for my supply drops. I'd do my contracts in Blackout and Zombies for my supply drops, and I would save them all up, and as soon as I hit 50, well, here we go. I just got myself a brand new DLC weapon. Time to start playing with it. Time to start leveling it up and getting attachments, then unlocking dark matter for it. Like, it was super fun. And the same was true of the armory credit style system that we had back in Call of Duty World War II. So hopefully, if Sledgehammer is doing another World War II themed game, they bring back the headquarters, and they also bring back that armory credit style system, and of course tweak it a little bit to make it more consumer friendly for people that can't play all day every day. But yeah, I definitely think a system like that would flourish in a new Call of Duty game. The next question is going to be coming in from BLC, who writes, Dear Nero, if Call of Duty World War II did not get its huge revamp, he's talking about the revamp to the Division system, would you still have considered it to be one of your favorite Call of Duties? I don't think so, actually. So, as it sits right now, I would rank Call of Duty World War II in my top 5 CODs of all time. If they never revamped the division system, if we never got that big overhaul and the addition of extra divisions and stuff like that, I think it would slip out of the top 5 for me personally. The game itself was fun. By no means was it a horrible game before the Division's overhaul, but it was made so much better by the Division's overhaul and by Sledgehammer Games listening to the player base. The next question is going to be coming in from Paul K. Dragon, who writes, Dear Nero, if you were to change skill-based matchmaking in Black Ops Cold War, how would you do it? So, Paul, it's a pretty simple system. You put everybody in the lobby based on connection and connection alone, and then from there, kind of divide them up based on their skill, right? This is how they did it. This is how they did it in previous games. People actually forget about this. So, let's say, you live in Florida, right? And you join a lobby. You join a lobby with a bunch of other people from around your area, essentially, down in Florida. And then from there, every single player in the lobby essentially has a skill rating of 1 to 10. And then the game will divide the two teams up based on those skill ratings to have the accumulative score be as close as humanly possible, so that the game itself is actually somewhat balanced. Like, nobody likes playing COD when it's one of those super unbalanced lobbies and your team is losing domination 180 to 15. Like, nobody likes that, right? So back in the day, even as early as Black Ops 4, like, Black Ops 4 had this system for sure. Like, at Black Ops 4, we'd be streaming it, and it would just be me and a friend, and we would look at all these players in our lobby, and I could tell just by their levels and their names, I could get, like, an idea for what kind of player they were, and I could call what player was going to be put on our team versus what player was going to be put on their team, right? And so that's how I would do it. That's how they did it in, like, all the older Call of Duty games. When they talked about how skill-based matchmaking, quote-unquote, was in games like Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 2, that's what they meant. It was basically everyone joined the lobby based on connections. You have a really good connection to the server or to the host back then, and then from there, they would divide the two teams up to try to make them as even as possible so that the game is actually, kind of fair and balanced in public matchmaking, which is how most other video games do it as well. So that's how I would do it. I would not make it so people join the lobby based on skill and then they're divided up by skill. They would join the lobby based on connection and then be divided up based on skill to try to make the match as even as possible. The next question is going to be coming in from Sore Rage, who writes, Dear Nero, with Call of Duty Online being shut down at the end of August, I actually didn't hear about that, I had to look that up, do you think it's plausible that Activision would make a global release for it at some point? I think it happened when and if the annual release cycle stops as a final quote-unquote best of COD type of game. That would be sick. I mean, do I think it's ever going to happen? No. I actually don't think it's going to happen because Call of Duty Mobile is basically the COD game that everyone wished that they had. And technically can. I mean, you can have it. It's right there. You can just, download to your phone and play it or even emulate it on PC. But God, is it boring. God, is it boring. At least when you first start, you only face bots. Like, I've played 2 games of COD Mobile and I was emulating it on the PC. Guess how many times I've died? 0. Guess how many nukes I have? 2. Like, it's not fun. You literally face bots, right? So if they were to flesh it out and actually make it built for modern systems, modern consoles, modern PCs, and make it a proper best of COD that combines all the best stuff from the Modern Warfare universe and the Black Ops universe and even some of the Advanced Warfare stuff, maybe some of the Ghost stuff, like just make it a pure best of Call of Duty game that is the only COD that is out for like 5 straight years and has constant updates and constant support, that would be insane. That's the dream. Will it ever happen? No, because they make too much money off the annual release of every single Call of Duty game and people blowing $500 a year on microtransactions in a game that is only relevant for 6 months. That's why. That's why they keep doing this. That's why the annual rewards are shit. Dark Matter is awful. We are like over 6 months into the game's life cycle and Dark Matter is terrible. And you look at the fact that like you have these different variants now that are showing up in the shop, which are genuinely amazing. It's like, okay, well, that one cost $20. This one I had to earn. Guess which one's better? It's the one you actually have to pay for, right? And that's why they do this every single year. They release the game in just enough of a good state so that it's passable, right? And then from there, they just load the shop up. It's actually pretty insane how it happens every single year. But who knows, maybe someday they would go for that best of COD. I'm just not really holding my breath. That is the dream, though. That is what I would personally love to see. In fact, I even said that Black Ops Cold War, Modern Warfare 2019, and Warzone should just stop right here and have these be the games that are supported heavily for the next few years, because it all just makes sense how they're all tied together. But I mean, the next Call of Duty game is said to be coming out. Sledgehammer is already starting to hype it up on Twitter, so the COD cycle never ends, man. The COD cycle never ends. So the next question is going to be coming in from Evax, who writes, Dear Nero, will you live stream the Battlefield reveal on the 9th? Well, Evax, I actually never thought to do that, but that's actually a pretty good idea. I think I will do that. Thanks for the idea, bud. The next question is going to be coming in from Mamuso, who writes, Dear Nero, why haven't you got verified? You deserve it, honestly, and I hope one day I'm just like you. You're a great YouTuber. Well, thank you, Mamuso. That is quite the compliment. Why am I not verified on Twitter? Because they hate me. I applied for verification on Twitter. Within an hour, they're like, no. I'm like, okay. I applied for like Twitch partnership, even though I've met all the requirements like ever since I started my live streaming journey, and there's like, no. It's like, everyone just hates me, man. Everyone hates Nero. It should be a TV show. The next question is going to be coming in from Crash Power, who writes, Dear Nero, how is your battle with that personal issue going on? Still good, I hope. Well, Mr. Crash Power, thank you for the question. It is definitely going very well. In a very good place, both mentally and getting into a better place physically. I was definitely very out of shape there for a while as well, so slowly trying to like build myself up out of that. But when it comes to like alcoholism and stuff like that, all under control. Things have been going very well with that, and I'm so happy that I was actually able to pull myself out of that, because that was a pretty dark and scary place for a better part of a year there. So thank you very much for all the support, and I can't thank you guys all enough for the support that was on the video where I explained my situation and everything that was happening. It was genuinely heartwarming to read all of your messages and read about your stories that were similar to mine, and it was just, I can't thank you guys enough. I really can't. The next question, and the final question for this episode of Dear Nero, my throat is definitely starting to hurt now, is going to be coming in from Matthew, who writes, Dear Nero, are you into history at all? And if so, what is your favorite time period / event? So Matthew, growing up, my favorite class all throughout like any grade, going in like elementary school, middle school, and high school, was always history. I love history. It's always so fun. It's always so interesting to read about these different things. And now, in the year 2021, there's a documentary or a movie or a series on literally everything that you're interested in. So some of my favorite stuff would be like the Mayan, the Incan, and the Aztec empires, World War II, obviously, ancient Rome, ancient Egypt, and recently we actually watched this that pirate documentary on Netflix about Nassau. And that was really interesting as well. So there's so much to learn and so much interesting stuff that has happened already on Earth. It's kind of weird though, right? Like right now, a lot of us look at the now as kind of boring, but in 10 years, we're going to look back at it right now, and it's going to be interesting because we have everything. We're going to be able to look at everything retrospectively and with new information and kind of like put different pieces of the puzzle together and like, oh, wow, 2021 was actually pretty interesting. You know, I mean, obviously 2020 was very interesting as well, but, I don't know. History is definitely very fun to dive into. It was definitely my favorite class all throughout school, and I still enjoy reading about things and watching documentaries and stuff like that on all sorts of different stuff, even as an adult. But ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I'm going to wrap up this episode of Dear Nero right about there. It seems like just about the sweet spot. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I'll do my best to edit out all the mowing. Oh my goodness, man. It is summer now. It is June 2nd, and everyone in my neighborhood has decided that today is Let's Mow Day. And so hopefully you guys didn't pick up too much on the mic throughout the entirety of this video. Hopefully by tomorrow, if I keep up with the meds and stuff like that, I will get rid of this cold and it'll just go away and we can continue on making content here on the channel, as well as on my second channel, as well as my Twitch channel, because I want this summer to be a fun summer full of content for you guys, because I feel as though I've been slacking way too much on all platforms, and it's time to just get back on track, get back on the horse, and start making content like it's my job to do so. So, I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider leaving a like. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.